This is Venice. For centuries, Venice was the most powerful and wealthiest republic in the Mediterranean. It dominated trade, commerce, and production, and one thing made this all possible: the Venetian lagoon. I'm Andy van Sale, and I'm here to discover more about how the lagoon nourishes the city and its people. I'm going to be meeting up with some of the artisans who share a passion for the lagoon and who work together to preserve it. Welcome to Flavours of Venice. In this episode, I'll be meeting my host from Lagunalonga, Francesco Calzolaio. I'll also meet Luisella Pavan-Wolf, Director of the Council of Europe. Next, I'll get an exclusive look inside one of the last remaining gondola building factories. Then it's back on board the Lincoln yacht for a delicious meal prepared by top chef G.P. Cremonini.
The definition of beauty of Stendhal is that beauty is a promise of happiness. I am Francesco Calzolaio. I am a practicing architect. I am the president of a cultural association called Venti di Cultura that has the mission to do cultural cabotages. I am a professor of landscape architecture, and I am very much devoted to the city because I love it. The Laguna Longa idea comes from the need, the desire, and the will to do for the lagoon and for the possibility to share its experience what Gondola has done for the Venetian rowers. You know, we are trying to offer what the lagoon offers, what we enjoy the lagoon. This is an experience that has the vocation to be shared. So we have an approach that is mainly to give to the people that like Venice or like cruising the canal to experience the lagoon and Venice through the water, but also through the many testimonies, the many people that are making this alive. Your experience here will be, of course, centered in three great cooks, friends, and partner of Laguna Longa.
Everything is so beautiful. You just walk around and it's magic. Can't think of a better place to be.
I'm meeting Luisella Pavan-Wolf, Director of the Council of Europe at the Venetian headquarters in Piazza San Marco, to find out why the Council is so keen to preserve the city.
I'm Luisella Pavan-Wolf. I'm the Director of the Council of Europe office in Venice. The Council of Europe is the oldest political organization in Europe. You can't think of Venice without thinking of the lagoon. Venice is the water it's in, and the canals and the large stretches of water in between Venice and the Lido, the little islands which are in the lagoon. It's boats, it's fishing, it's bathing, it's swimming, it's wildlife. We've chosen to come to Venice because Venice has a history of intercultural dialogue, of openness to the rest of the world. Venice has always been a bridge in between West and East. And this is something the Council of Europe is very keen to preserve and to pursue. It's not just trying to preserve the monuments, but it's really preserving the values and lifestyle. So this is really why we're here. just good for your soul. I mean, being in a place which is so quiet. You know, you don't hear the cars, you don't have to worry about crossing a road. You hear the chunk of the diesel engines, and that's as noisy as it gets. It's just, you know, a joy for the eyes and for the soul. I think particularly beautiful at night when all the lights reflect on the water, on the canals. It's magic.
This is Piazza San Marco, or as the locals know it, La Piazza, one of the most famous piazzas in the world. This is the religious, political and social center of the city. It is the very heart of Venice. And of course, we're never too far from the water. The entrance to this square was one of the most frequented entrances into the ancient city. And it is also the most luxurious place to hop on a gondola. Now, it's a very unique experience walking through the piazza. I could do it the dry way with all of the other tourists, but I've decided to be a little bit adventurous. And we're making our way through the piazza. We're going to go to one of the last remaining gondola building factories today. It's going to be a spectacular sight. Let's go. Looks like we might have run into another stop on our journey. Looks like we have some more flooding over here. Let's go check it out. I'm stuck again, gonna have to reroute. So in Venice, when it rains, you do come across quite unique shops, especially this one, which is actually underwater right now. Let's continue our journey through the canals. It wouldn't be a trip to Venice without experiencing the gondola, the thing that was actually born with Venice. And just behind me over this canal is one of the first ever gondola factory building sites, and we're going to get a sneak peek inside. I'm inside one of the first ever gondola building factories in history. It's one of the last remaining ones that still exist here in Venice. The gondola is uniquely amazing. It is the only rowing boat in the world that can navigate the canals in the way that it does. It cannot be replicated anywhere. You might wonder why the gondolas are all painted black, and in fact there's a really interesting story to this. Venice was plagued, and to respect the dead, all gondolas were painted black. They still exist this way today. There are three elements to the gondola that make it so unique. One is the forcola, one is the gondolier, of course, and one is the oar. And we're going to go see how these are poetically created to all merge into one aspect. Let's go check it out.
Il mio nome è Lorenzo, io lavoro qui da più di 20 anni e gestisco questo square che è uno degli ultimi square rimasti a Venezia. Ho cominciato qui, a me piacciono le tradizioni veneziane, mi piace che vengano mantenute delle cose che stanno scomparendo, qui cerco di mantenere delle cose che andavano a morire. Costruire una gondola richiede circa 2 mesi di lavoro. Si usano 7 tipi di legno diversi, noi usiamo ancora proprio i metodi. Una volta, vedete, questo cantiere ha più di 100 anni, questo è il punto dove ci si appoggia, il cantiere, dove si inizia. Adesso ne stiamo iniziando una, stiamo tagliando i primi pezzi per incominciare. Queste sono le ordinate, che sono in olmo, un legno molto duro, molto elastico, verranno posizionate in questo cantiere, poi su queste si attaccano le 2 cinte, le 2 tavole del fianco, che faranno da spina dorsale per tutta la barca, sulla quale verrà costruita tutta la coperta. Poi staccata da questo cantiere viene capovolta, viene inarcata, perché la gondola nasce molto dritta, molto distesa, per cui questo inarcamento anche cambia a seconda del gondoliere, per cui noi le costruiamo sulla misura del gondoliere, su ordinazione, e viene chiuso il fondo e viene poi rigirata, rifinita, poi viene dipinta. Abbiamo fatti tutti gli addobbi, altri artigiani vengono e rifiniscono tutto il nostro scafo, diciamo. Non siamo solo noi, ci sono tanti artigiani, c'è chi fa le parti in acciaio, chi fa le cuscinerie, chi fa gli intagli, chi posa la foglia d'oro. Però il tutto parte da qui, completa di tutto. La forcola, la forcola dove si appoggia il remo, un pezzo unico di noce, è una scultura fatta a mano, non facciamo noi, ci sono i remeri che le fanno queste. E anche questa deve essere proporzionale all'altezza del gondoliere, a seconda di dove posiziona il remo e di dove si posiziona il gondoliere nella gondola, riesce a fare tutte le manovre che servono per passare per i piccoli canali. Per cui sia la forcola che la barca sono fatte in modo che con un solo remo si possa passare per i piccoli canali di Venezia.
La gondola è indissolubile da Venezia e viceversa. Io sono Saverio Pastor, sono un remer, cioè un costruttore di remi, anzi devo dire che sono il più vecchio dei remeri in attività. Con me lavora Pietro, che è il più giovane dei remeri in attività. Siamo 4 botteghe oggi, 5 persone in tutto. In realtà però il mestiere è antico come Venezia, perché c'è sempre stato bisogno di qualcuno che facesse i remi e chiaramente fino a 50 anni fa c'erano molte più botteghe, molte più realtà, insomma. E prima ancora, prima di Napoleone, c'erano i remeri di Stato che lavoravano nell'arsenale per fare i remi delle galee, e i remeri privati come noi che lavoravano per i bisogni della città. I remeri, oltre ai remi, che erano la cosa più importante, facevano altre cose, tra cui le forcole. Questa è una forcola per un puparino a 4 remi, è l'oggetto su cui si appoggia il remo per fare tutte le manovre necessarie al movimento della gondola. Su questa curva si appoggia il remo per partire, qua si voga da soli, qua si voga quando ci sono altri vogatori a prua, lentamente nei canali stretti. Per fermarsi si mette il remo qua o qua si voga indietro, qua si voga indietro. Insomma, è un oggetto utile, ma che nei secoli si è evoluto, si è elaborato, e adesso abbiamo queste forme un po' particolari.
Welcome back to Flavours of Venice. I'm here outside the Ristorante Riviera to meet up with my celebrity chef, G.P. Cremonini. Inside his kitchen is where the magic happens, but today we're bringing the magic on board. Ciao, G.P. Ciao. I'm very good. How are you? Are you ready to hop on board?
Let's go.
Let's do this.
For me, a restaurant, first of all, is a kitchen, because in the kitchen you can move with the products. If you want to eat, it's an extreme act. It's one of the most violent things that you can do in your life. And so the name is really long. It's Giovanni Pietro Francesco Maria Cremonini. My mother with a logorrhea crisis at the wrong moment, and now I keep all that. One friend, one day, cut all that, and so we arrive at G.P. Cremonini, only the two first letters. I grew up here in Venice. I was, I believed to be a musician, and so I did all my best to live as a musician. And traveling here and there, I arrived in Paris. I spent quite 30 years between Paris and South America, a little bit too. And one day I was really, really tired about the show business. I don't like cameras, why I don't do it? If I have to change something, I can change everything, so here I am. The water is the basic of any kind of element, or the kind of things that you need for the survival. The water and the town here are strictly close. We start with some tagliatelle di calamaro. We took some calamars that are fished here, immediately outside the Lido. Fantastic one. When they arrive, you touch, they change the color, the pour. And we take only the pancia, only the body. We open it, we put one over the other, and after we cut really thin slices of raw calamaro. We put in the boiling water, only a while. We season it with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of basil, a few little aromatic herbs coming here from the Giudecca we passed by before. That's all. And so you're going to have the taste of a fish that lived in the lagoon, that lived in the sea in the front of the lagoon, and the vegetables coming from here. Then we have a kind of form, a cloud of potatoes coming from Le Vignole and Sant'Erasmo, a little bit of the two. It's lightly warm. And over all that, we put a little bit of canestrelli. Canestrelli are the pilgrim scallops, I think, in English. A little rain of that over these clouds. They are only lightly pastured. Then we have a fillet of suro. Suro, it's like a kind of mackerel, I think, not exactly. It was considered in the past time as an important fish, a precious one, after, only Sebastian, Sibrin, okay, and tuna. Now, and we take simply this small fillet, we lightly stir it, we serve it with a little bit of rice and some fennel. Raw fennel cut it in thin slices, and some radicchio di Treviso. It's a kind of red chicory, a bitter one. And then our tiramisu. That, if you want, it doesn't have the same structure that the tiramisu. It doesn't have the same texture, but in the mouth. That is our tiramisu.
Well, before we finish off our final dish of the day, I'd like to thank you, our host, Francesco, for having us on board. And for my special guest, Louisiana, it's been amazing having you with us. And to you, GP, thank you so much for this experience, this gastronomic experience, and for helping us to all discover the flavors of Venice.
You're so
It's
kind.
been amazing.
Can I say a little thing?
Of course you can.
I wish to say that those dishes looks maybe difficult and looks complex, looks luxurious. In reality, every one of us, every day, it's possible to find real products, having respect for yourself. The food is the basic of your life. Never forget it. You have to love the others, and you start from that, from the food. And so, don't be afraid to go in free shop at the place that to go to the supermarket. Don't be afraid to support a little producer. Don't be afraid to use your time to find something that is important for you. You can do it everywhere with money, with no money, but with the desire to love yourself. That's all. The product that I use came from here, not only the lagoon, but all around Venice, because it's important to me to see the face and the end of each one of the producer. Because what is wrote on a label is something. The reality is different, and you can see it only when you're going to visit somebody, when you're going to see the relationship, how we speak about the products, how we speak about, when you see that it's full of ground here, is that he spent his time touching the material. That is important.
I too wanted to see the hands and face of the producers. So this morning I'm going to meet GP and his producers at the famous Rialto market. It's the early hours of the morning in Venice, and I'm here with my two lovely chefs, Gipri Cremonini and Dimitri Gris, and they're the best chefs in town to take me through this market so we can meet all the wonderful personalities and see all the wonderful flavors of Venice. Should we go inside, guys?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Follow us. So guys, is this where you come every morning to collect all your fresh produce?
Quite every morning, if not, the producer arrives with us.
Really?
It's not so simple, but anyway, yes. Rialto is the basic, the heart of the town. The market was here because it was in the center of those islands that protect the town completely. It was the first island was colonized by the people arriving here in the lagoon, after Torcello and then Malamocco and then Rialto. And Venice, as you know, started from here. Actually, we have this wonderful market that is not as it was, but with always great products. Here, for instance, we have a family, the Zane family. They came from Burano. Burano is a small island, and they are fishermen from always. I don't know. Gianni, da quante generazioni si pescatori? 3 generations, exactly. Grazie, scusami.
So guys, when you think of one stall or one man at the market that really brings the flavors of the Venetian lagoon to this market, who do you think of?
Yeah, there is one name only, it's Marco Bergamasco.
Wonderful guy with the wonderful eyes that doesn't look like a fish, but that he knows everything about the fish.
Ciao Marco. So Marco actually goes out by boats and collects and fishes everything that he sells at the market, right?
Yes, he know a lot about the fish, not shell only the fish, speak about the fish.
And all the products that you see here came from the lagoon. It's honestly, I think that Marco have a knowledge about the fish that it's over or equal to that one of a biologist, a
Yeah.
sea biologist.
Really?
A biologist, sorry. You understand me? I know that you
Yes.
understand me. And when he show you a fish, you can be sure that it's not only the most real, the most fresh, but it's a perfect one, really perfect.
Today is perfect. Is this one, John Dory, little from Lagoon.
John Dory, these ones.
They are small John Doris, you can see really big ones. Questi da dove sai che etichette li hai in questi? A cavolo.
Pescatori e del cavolo, questi non sono pescati molto lontano dalla costa.
Those are fished really close to the coast, the north coast, immediately outside the lagoon, where you can go with the Laguna Longa zone.
Yes. On the next episode of Flavours of Venice, I will be learning the one-oared rowing technique of the gondola, going to an organic garden to see where the freshest produce comes from, and having a delicious dining experience with celebrity chef Dimitri Gress.